Welcome back to Parking Lot Takes. I'm Brandon. That's Christian.
And the wait for Brandon to finally start freaking Invincible is over. And I guess we can finally have a conversation about it now?
Yes, we can.
Golly, dude.
It's a little late. I feel like the conversation around season 3 is over.
Yeah, for sure.
But we can talk about it. Yeah, I did start it this week.
We'll get to it.
We will get to it, yeah.
We're going to talk Last of Us?
Talk Last of Us. Talk a little Marvel.
Yep.
Phase 5 is ended.
Phase 5 ranking.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. I will talk about Invincible.
Yep.
Maybe catch up on some other stuff that we've been watching.
Yep.
Do you want to start with Invincible or do you just want to go to Marvel?
You want to do screen time first?
Yeah, let's do some screen time then.
Screen time first? All right, you go.
So, I started Invincible this
Yep.
week. I spent not a lot of time. I'm about 5 episodes into season 1. So enough to sink my teeth into it, but not a full season yet. Just kind of picked it up over the weekend. Finally, just was like, I just need to do this. So here's what I think about Invincible so far. To start off, I was very nervous. It kind of felt like one of those Cartoon Network animated shows where the dialogue's like just kind of basic. It just kind of feels a little underdeveloped, undercooked. And I kind of got through episode 1. And then when episode 1 ends, it kicks off. And I was like, oh crap. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. And then I was actually really surprised where it went in episode 2. I guess people have seen this, so I guess spoilers if you haven't seen Invincible. But episode 1 I felt like was setting up things very basically. Like, you got a family, superheroes, this is fine. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to love this show, but it's fine. Episode ends with Omni-Man going ape crap on the freaking Guardians of the Globe. And then I was kind of like, oh shoot, just hit the fan. This is interesting. Didn't expect that because I have kept from all spoilers, so I did not know that was going to happen. And so episode 2, I thought it was going to quickly kind of turn on Omni-Man, but no. He actually keeps it under wraps, and you're kind of sitting with it. And what's really interesting is like dealing with Invincible and the family, like they're going on with life, and he's discovering how to be a hero, and Omni-Man's training him, and all of this stuff, and they don't know. And Omni-Man's putting up this front, and I find that just kind of interesting. Like, you're kind of sitting with these characters, remembering every once in a while that, like, oh shoot, they don't know that he just obliterated the freaking Guardians of the Globe, just eviscerated them. And it's really cool because I know they're probably building to some kind of fallout there, but I'm glad that it wasn't just right away. Like, we're kind of having time to sit with it and kind of really feel it. And you've got the kind of pieces like Cecil knows, but he's not willing to kind of like say it yet because he needs to find a way to bring Omni-Man down. It was just more interesting than I think I expected just from like the first episode up until Omni-Man kind of goes crazy. And so I'm really digging it. I'm actually really liking it. There's definitely moments where it does still feel kind of like a normal like Cartoon Network show. Like, obviously it's more mature. There's adult language, adult violence, and things like that. Some of the new villains and stuff that are bringing in feel a little kind of throwaway, but overall though, I like where the characters are going. I think it's interesting. I think training Invincible is really fun. Omni-Man is very interesting, so I definitely like it. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. I don't know if, just off like 5 episodes, if I'm going to say that this is like the greatest animated show ever. I'm not feeling that yet. But I am very interested and invested enough to be like, once I got through a couple episodes, I was like, oh, I'm excited to keep watching this. So we'll see where it goes, but I definitely see why people like it. I just don't know how much I will love it maybe once I get through like a full season. We'll kind of see how it ends.
Yeah. Season 1's my favorite.
Really?
A lot of people moved to season 3. I stayed season 1 just because it's so tight.
Yeah.
And I like the mystery story element.
I do too. Yeah.
And I don't think it's just they're expanding the story. I tend to like stuff like that more, just when the story's a little bit tighter and in the beginning growth stages of everything. I just tend to like it more. But yeah, I'm reading the comic right now and I really like the comic. So
so watching it, so we were talking about this on Sunday actually. with some friends who watched Invincible and love Invincible, and I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the animation style, to be honest with you. I think they could have done it a lot better, and it almost makes me want to read the comic because I feel like I'm gonna like the comic more.
A lot of people like the show more. Like Cody likes the show more.
Did he say that?
To my understanding, I think he really likes the show. I think because I would be shocked if I'm getting this wrong, but I could be.
Yeah.
But what I remember, he's like, this is my favorite comic of all time, and I like the show more. I think they make certain changes that he really likes. I haven't. There's a little bit of changes here and there, nothing too drastic. Other than the Omni-Man reveal is a lot later, so like it's more like it's maybe more of a mid-season reveal in the comic versus it being the first episode.
Yeah.
Which I think I like more because the comic is very tame up until then. Like very limited blood, almost no language.
So it feels very PG, and then all of a sudden it just goes crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting.
But yeah, no, I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I was just kind of... I mean, they do some fun stuff. Like, I love the stuff with, like, Amanda, the dichotomy with, like, Adam Eve. Like, they definitely do some cool things with it.
Amanda?
Yeah, Amanda is the, like, the girl from school that he's, like...
Amber.
Is it Amber? You're right, it is Amber, not Amanda. The stuff with Amber is kind of fun, kind of quirky. Like, I kind of like seeing Invincible kind of trying to figure that out. I think it's interesting. But, like, it's good. Like, I can see why people really like it. I'm really liking it. I don't know how much I'm just going to love it, though. Like, I'm not loving it yet. Maybe once I sit with the characters a little bit longer and some more happens, I will.
Wait to the finale.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, I'm only 5 episodes in. Like, I've got a few more left. Maybe once I get through a full season, I'll go, yeah, this feels really good. Does the dialogue ever feel kind of wooden to you?
I can't remember.
Sometimes I just feel like the dialogue is delivered weird. It feels like it's delivered if you were watching one of those Cartoon Network shows. Like it's not delivered in a way that you would expect like an adult written kind of show would be.
I think though the show is trying to play into that classic. To me, it reminds me a lot of like Teen Titans,
Young Justice
type.
I felt Young Justice a lot.
So I think it's similar to that, and I think that's the goal.
And
so
I like that.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to deliver a product like Young Justice and have those like adult elements. I think they're delivering on that personally.
Yeah, and maybe because it is a little bit more mature, I kind of just feel slightly different than I would. I mean, I love Young Justice. And it does feel a lot like that. I guess maybe because it's a little bit more mature, sometimes I expect it to feel a little different than just a Young Justice. But you're right. If they're trying to deliver on that kind of vibe and tone and feel of it, then they're executing it perfectly. Because I just kept feeling that like old Cartoon Network feel to it. And I like that. I mean, that's fun. But at times I just remember being like, J.K. Simmons can like do better than this. Like his Omni-Man.
I'd have to rewatch, man. I don't really remember.
Like it's good. It just doesn't ever enter into like a great like Steven Yeun like playing Invincible. Like there's just times where I'm like, I know these guys could just crush these lines and they're doing a good job, but it never like ends up into this conversation of like, wow, these guys they're doing some really interesting stuff.
Wait for the finale.
So, yeah, they haven't really gone through anything, though. So, I don't know. They've just been it's just dialogue and missions and fun stuff. So, maybe when it gets more emotional or maybe if something happens, I'll feel a little bit differently. But so far, just a little bit. And I almost hate to say that because I think it's good. But I've just felt a little bit like these are, like, top-tier actors. And some of the lines just feel a little flat. But that's just kind of how I felt about it so far.
Cool.
But I'm liking it. I'm going to keep watching it this week. I might finish the season. Maybe we can talk about it next week. But it is really interesting because I love comic book stuff. So it's going to be up my alley.
Maybe I'll rewatch the first season.
Yeah,
that way I can talk about it with you. But
yeah, that's the main thing I've been watching this week, and it's been fun.
Sweet.
What have you been up to? What have you been watching? What's your screen time?
My screen time. Well, so I've been watching Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the second season. I had not watched any of it. That show is good. It's fine.
It's fun.
I would say it's overhyped. What I find is like, I
think people just really like that it's fun. I think John Cena's so charismatic. Vigilante's hilarious. Like, there's so much in this that's really fun that I think people... My perception was when it came out, people were just really surprised by it. They were like, oh my gosh, this is such a fun DC show. It's got good action in it. And people were just kind of taken back, like, oh wow, this is actually really good, actually kind of funny, and I really enjoy watching this show. So now I think beyond it, people probably, I would say, have it a little more properly rated. It's just like, oh, that was really fun. I'm excited for season 2. I was late to it. I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it probably like towards the end of last year. And I kind of felt the same way. I was like, I remember people gushing about this when it came out. And I think it's fun. And I definitely enjoyed watching it. But I don't think it's like God's gift to television, personally. But it is a good show, I would say. I think now it's properly rated, though.
Alex just followed me on Letterboxd.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He might follow everyone. I don't know. But I just got the notification.
That's wild. That's so sick.
I followed him, so maybe he follows everybody back.
Still, that's cool.
You know what? He has grown on me like the weirdest tumor. Like, weirdly, I find myself like, I agree with him so much
more. Yeah, it's hilarious.
I'm like, and I get introduced to him, like, who is this guy? This guy's pissing me off so much. And now I'm like, I love him to death. And I'm like, I love this guy.
That's like your intro to it, though. Typically, it's like a hot take or something, and it's like you either love it or hate it. And then I think over time, you just like,
well, it's part of me. Cool. It's like, I just love that this guy has balls, man.
Yeah,
like, honestly, I love that this guy is like, sticks to his guns and he likes what he likes and he ain't compromising. Part of me loves that, like when I thought about Audrey liking the Princess Bride. Yeah. That's how kind of felt. Yeah, so I went and rewatched. I saw Thunderbolts again last night.
Yeah, how was your second watch?
It was very good. I liked it more. I have more issues with the ending than you did. I will say I don't really have those issues anymore because someone kind of explained how the Void worked to me, and I just thought the Void was like an alternate personality thing. From what I understand now, it's more like its own entity, its own like living entity, sentient thing. I like the ending a lot more. I think it's better. It's less tropey. But one of the things I thought about was, are you familiar with the Florida Man like meme? We live in Florida.
Yeah.
Like the Florida Man meme,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
like they're making GTA 6 on that premise.
Yes.
So there's the Florida Man meme, Florida Man meme that we have. You know, people do stupid stuff in Florida. Florida's the place where all the crazy stuff happens or whatever. Yeah, like it's like the news articles. Like, of course it's probably in Florida. Happening in Florida.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, is New York in the MCU not the Florida? Like, not Florida? Like, you have to be an absolute moron to continue to live in New York.
In New York City.
The most stubborn human on the planet. Like, can you imagine, like, being in Florida and reading about New York? Oh, man, and a giant void just went across all of New York and everyone disappeared and it was all dark for a while. Classic New York. What are you going to do?
Back to the 9 to 5.
Oh, man. Like, there's something's always going on there, man. Oh, gosh, dang, man.
Just another day in the week.
Just another day in New York, I guess.
Relived my awful past choices, but that's New York.
Wasn't last week martial law going on? Like, martial law, city's power outage, and like vigilantes or vigilante task force
just shooting
people. Like, classic
Shoot
New York.
Looters and rioters in the street.
How is the Coast Guard not in New York right now?
Full-time employed.
I know, like, how is there not a military branch that is, we are the New York?
Yes,
New York
we're the New York police now.
We're New York military.
Yeah.
Like,
that's such a good
how
point.
many alien invasions
are we going to go through?
Yeah.
Before just Manhattan just shuts down.
Yeah.
Just go away.
Like, from what I can remember, right, we have the Chitauri invasion in Avengers 1.
Yeah. Everything that happens with Spider-Man.
Well, Doctor Strange, the spell, the Statue of Liberty, all the villains. Infinity War, the big ship comes down.
Yeah.
The Void, martial law. There's one more, I'm sure, New York event that I'm like, what
There's
the
gotta
frick?
Be more. Yeah, there has to be more.
How are we not?
Who still lives in this friggin' city?
I know. Like, how you have to be an absolute moron. Like, it's worse than Florida.
The probability of you dying in New York is higher than Florida.
Yeah, like in Florida, it's like, oh, the guy robbed a restaurant with an alligator. Crazy. It's like, is that worse than alien invasion 3 times?
Almost freaking.
If I see one Florida man meme in the MCU, I will lose my mind.
Can't be worse than New York.
It's a terror. Like, why would you just evacuate the city?
Yeah.
Be done with it.
Yeah. Just Chernobyl that. Just shut it down. It's fine. We'll move on.
Yeah, like Chernobyl it. Just gonna act like a bum, like Godzilla.
Yes.
Like how they like quarantined it and like just don't even go.
Yeah,
it's no good.
That's such a good thought.
I'm just like, what idiot continues to live in this city? Like, how many things have happened?
Yeah.
Terrorist 9/11 like
level events
that happened in New York. And people are like, New York's the greatest city on earth, man. I love it here. We got Spider-Man.
That's my city.
You got Spider-Man. I love my city. We're just such proud New Yorkers, you know?
My grandma died last week from a Shatari, but it's fine.
Shatari landed their spaceship on my grandma. We couldn't open the deli for a week.
We're poor.
And just when I get back on my feet, I get transported, reliving my grandma's death in the void over and over and over again. Terrible.
But me and my family not going anywhere.
I know. I don't like to look at it, so I put a blindfold over my eyes, and then I got shot by the vigilante police task force. Like you were a vigilante and you were holding a butcher knife. I'm like, I work at the deli.
But I'm not going anywhere.
I hope I didn't offend any New Yorkers.
New Yorkers.
I'm from Florida.
We can do like another.
Can make fun of me.
Make fun of us. Say that we're alligators.
Yeah.
That we're stupid. We can do other accents if it makes you feel better. Boston.
Boston? Nigerian? You want to give that one a shot?
I'll pass.
No, okay, good. I was going to say stop. All right. Oh, no.
That's so funny, though. Those memes do crack me up. I love the I don't know. It's just the most wild things, and just people are like, must have been in Florida. Like, grandma robs bank at 92. It's like, she's probably from Florida. I love those memes.
I have another question for you.
Yeah. Hit me.
So I guess we'll have two. Are we done? Screen time's done.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching Invincible pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I rewatched all of the Oceans movies. The trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. First one's incredible, and the second one is not good. But I like the third one. I like 13 randomly, and I didn't look up any opinions on it, but I thought it was interesting, and like I just didn't feel like 2 was creative enough because they win by going to a guy and being like, I don't want to play, and he's like, okay, well here's the thing, and they get it and they win. Yeah. But like I thought 13 at least we saw them constantly get to solve a bunch of problems.
Yes.
So I liked it for that.
Yeah.
And so
that's a fun franchise.
Yeah.
Like I definitely think 12 is the weakest out of it, but I think there's still some fun to be had with it. I think between the 3 of them, like it's a good. I mean, people talk a lot about 11, but I think all 3 of them are really fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a good watch.
I think 12 is like on the borderline of being boring just because nothing happens. Yeah. Because like they don't ever actually like the climax of the movie is they like started a fight on a train and stole a bag.
Yeah.
You know?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like that's how they won, and they had this elaborate plan, and the whole point of the plan was for it to fail. Mm-hmm. It was like a little tropey on the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know. But 13 felt unique and like, back obviously from what if you look at it, it's like 12 didn't do well. Like, okay, we got to go back to casinos.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you had to, but I thought that was interesting. Like, and I enjoyed all the problem solving they did. I thought that was fun. Like all that. Go ahead.
Did you watch the newest one?
8. Mm-hmm. No, I couldn't find it.
I've actually never.
I would have.
I've never actually seen it.
I would have. I didn't watch it though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on. I'll have to look. I didn't see it when I searched Oceans, but I definitely don't like that it's like Ocean's sister. I think that's like too much.
Yeah. It's like you're trying to connect it.
Yeah, like could it not have been
feels like franchising.
Tess, like Brad Pitt's wife, and they
Yes,
run some
something,
weird
yeah.
scheme or. But
Yeah, it could have been fun. Not for any particular reason, but I just never watched it.
yeah. All right.
That's fun though.
So I learned a little something the other day, and I have a question for you.
You learned how babies are made?
No.
I'm pregnant.
Streaming. Is streaming a good thing?
How do you want me to answer this in like a philosophical way or in like a for the movie industry?
I don't know where I'm getting at, and I think it'll be clear when I start explaining, but like it's a
ahead.
specific problem that streaming has.
Okay.
Or a potential problem.
Okay.
So something that's very cool it's just this is a unique problem to streaming, which is they can take projects and change them, manipulate them, edit them, and then re-upload them to streaming.
I know where you're going with this.
And that means they can take out anything they want from the original movie.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, and Netflix has taken things out of movies and put them on their platform without certain things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into the political side of that, but like
I was looking at this today, actually.
Is that infringing on the director? Like
On the artist's intention?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so. Because if the director thought I'm putting this in the film for a purpose,
Right.
and Netflix chooses to cut it out, then they are encroaching on what the artist intended for the audience
I
to
think you should
experience.
have to get that permission to do that.
I think you absolutely should.
They might. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they do. I don't know what the legality of that is, but I think you should absolutely have to go back to the artist and say, are you okay with me cutting this out? And if they say no, then you just have to make the tough choice.
Yeah.
And I also don't know, maybe this gets into the political side of it, but what is the real purpose behind that? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, do you know it's in the Robin Hood was like what I saw.
the one that I saw was I don't know if it's Passion of the Christ or it's either the Passion of the Christ or the film that Martin Scorsese does. I can't remember, with Willem Dafoe who plays Jesus, like The Last Temptation. Regardless, one of those films. At the very opening of the film, there's a verse from Isaiah that is on that opening shot, and they cut that verse out and showed the rest of the movie. Interesting choice. But I saw some people talking about like it's a blatant choice for them to cut that out of the beginning of the movie. Obviously, that's not how it was originally produced and given to the audience. So people were wondering why did they do that? That's the specific example I saw.
Yeah, so the one I saw, which was a scroll, some sort of literature, the beginning of Russell Crowe's Robin Hood.
Yes.
That talked about rising up against tyrannical government. So they cut that out of just the United States version of Netflix. So if you have a VPN, like if you're located in the United States, you don't see that.
But if you're in like Europe,
yeah,
you do.
Yeah.
That's so specific.
Isn't that whack?
Yeah.
I saw another podcast talking about it, and it was making me, I was like, dude, that's crazy. Because I thought it was
That's
like,
concerning.
that is
right?
weird. That's weird.
That's like weird, like mass manipulation kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that. But it made me think about streaming in general, and like, yeah, that's true. Like, you could just edit that stuff out of the movies till you don't even realize it's missing.
True, if you're new to it,
Right.
you would have no clue.
But like over time, you might like how often
Forget.
are you gonna like when you rewatch Robin Hood, are you gonna remember that it was even there?
True.
And so so with streaming, you have this ability to alter art over time to kind of whatever you want it to be to fit what you want it to be, and it's kind of weird. Versus it being a CD that you're buying, and that's like unalterable.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That CD you have is the same movie every time, which is not the case with streaming. But I want to highlight some cool things. Like you do get like those nice repolished Disney animated movies that they come back and repolish.
Absolutely.
one of the examples of that being a good idea was like Lilo and Stitch. In the original cut of Lilo and Stitch, Lilo's hiding from Nani, and she hides in a dryer. Mm-hmm. And so they deemed that like that's probably not the best idea to give kids ideas, so they changed it to like a desk, and she put like a box over the front of it, something like that. So there's like good things that can, but yeah,
that is interesting.
It's kind of a problem unique to streaming.
Yeah, and you have to be very careful about. I mean, I think
because you would just think that's like there's no.
If I watched it back through, I probably would not catch it. I've watched that Robin Hood maybe 2 or 3 times, but I would know.
Right. My thought is like the George Lucas original Star Wars trilogy and how he constantly like redid those. Yeah. So, but there was like an announced re-edit, right?
Yes, we knew.
But when you're
and there's still cuts out there,
right? But you're clicking on Robin Hood on Netflix. They're not telling you it's re-edited.
No.
So that's
it's not. This is the Robin Hood special edition.
Yeah, like right. You're just thinking that's the movie.
This is
and there's nothing missing.
That's dangerous.
I think so. I think it'd be bad. Going forward. All right.
There's streaming. Yeah, I mean, streaming is always going to have pros and cons to it. Like, there's also the side of the conversation of, a lot of people have talked about like. A work goes on streaming, like an artist's work, and they can just kind of take it off whenever they want. And if you don't have it on physical media anymore, because physical media is dying out, then you don't have access to that anymore.
Yeah, Owen Rogers. Do you know who I'm talking about? Mm-hmm, Final Space.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that guy to death.
Yeah.
And like my heart is broken for him and that show he poured all of his heart into, Final Space. Mm-hmm. Like, I loved it. It was so funny and just so innovative and inventive and creative. Yeah. And I was a big fan of his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Me and my brother loved him to death. We watched him. Yeah. He had the cultural impact this guy had on my personality. And, I mean, gosh, and my heart just shatters that, like, there's no physical media of that show.
Yeah.
And I hate that for him. And I wish it's so... I just... broken for that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I love Olin and I want him to go on and do amazing things, but I was just so broken that like that happened to him, and also like it makes me not like whoever owned it, because I think they could give it to him and let him produce it on iTunes or whatever.
I'm sure.
And they're not going to let him.
Nope.
But he's got a graphic novel coming out, so I'm excited about that.
That's cool.
To finish his story, which is so cool.
It's just a unique problem with streaming because it has become a platform for artists, and physical media is dying out. They have a lot more control over the artist's work than I think some would like. And so there's going to be, but it also opens up the door. You've got these new streaming services with these huge budgets, and they're giving indie directors these opportunities to make movies. So like, it's kind of a back and forth, but streaming does pose problems going forward when it comes to artist work, changing it now and affecting it. And it is something to probably like pay attention to, because I think if it does cross too much of a line, then people will start to get really upset, I think, with streaming services. Like if they start cutting out, specifically in that conversation, major pieces, like people were upset about the example that I mentioned because they felt like it was a blatant, I think specifically maybe like conservatives or Christians or things like that. People are going to get upset. So I think they have to be careful because it could piss a lot of people off.
I think if Netflix is going to take something out of a movie for whatever reason or excuse they want to give, I think you have to tell the viewer somehow. It needs to be somewhere. It might be. Too. I just haven't seen anything of it.
Yeah,
I think it's important that you would tell them.
I think before the movie plays that this is an
altered version of this. You get that in freaking airport viewings of movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or airplane viewings of movies. Mm-hmm. That Netflix should absolutely, in the beginning of those, be like, this is an altered cut of this movie to fit community guidelines or whatever.
TV does it, don't they? Remember, like, cable television does that. Like, this has been altered for television format.
Yeah.
Like, you could throw that up in front of, like, a Netflix movie. Why not? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I'm just thinking in terms of morality, like how moral is it to take away a Bible verse versus letting like pornography literally be on your site? Like what a mix in values.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Like,
and if we want to go down that route, then
what a absolute weird
weird thing to cut out.
Collision of values, like that is too much and dangerous, but this is fine, and we're not going to child lock any of this crap.
Any of this stuff, yeah. When it's just blatant nudity that you can access and destroy a youth's psyche and mindset and just exposing them. Yeah, there's a whole conversation there. And from what I've seen, just to be honest, people saying that this stuff is cut out is like, a lot of people are saying it has crossed the line. Like, you can't do that for the artist perspective. Like, you can't do that to an artist. That's not how it was intended. And specifically with like Bible verses and stuff like that, there is an interesting conversation there. But I don't know what that means going forward. I don't know how they fix that. I think they fix it by just not doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do. But
or you say it's an altered version.
Yeah.
Or you give two options.
Yeah.
Unaltered or altered version for community guidelines.
Yeah. Yeah. You could say like this is a more. Yeah. You could do that.
I don't know. Anyway,
interesting.
We have I'm gonna save our second question, and take question. We'll talk about it on the after.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Last of Us?
Yeah.
Episode 5?
Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Let's rank that really quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, my bad.
So, we have seen Thunderbolts, and Marvel Phase 5 is now officially over.
Yep.
Fantastic Four is going to be the first film in Marvel Phase 6. So, with Thunderbolts being out, we've seen it. We wanted to rank all of Marvel Phase 5, the movies, and kind of see where they fell with that. Do you have a pretty good ranking? I think I've
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go.
All right. Give me your ranking first. Start at the bottom, go to the top.
Yes. So at my 6, so there were 6 movies that came out this year.
Wait.
Right?
I've got 5. Am I missing one? Phase 5 movies?
Yeah.
Is there 6 of them?
Do you have Quantumanium on there?
Yeah.
And you have...
Let's name all Phase 5 movies. Quantumania.
Yep.
The Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yep.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Thunderbolts. I forgot Captain America.
There you go.
That's what it was. All right, you go down your list. I'll add it up on there.
I wonder where that one's going to end up. All right, so
You might be surprised.
my number 6 spot, I have Ant-Man Quantumanium. This was the first time I walked out of a Marvel screening.
You walked out of it?
No.
Oh.
Like, super disappointed.
I thought you were like halfway.
Like,
I was
I
like,
walked out of that, like,
dang.
trying to find something to like.
Yeah.
And as I sat, and I'm like, this movie sucks. Like, it just
Did we see that together?
No. It just didn't. No, we didn't. It just didn't deliver on anything it was trying to do. I walked out of that movie. A lot of people, interestingly, came out like, oh, Kang, like, cool, and I could, like, I can't. I walked out like, I don't give a rip about Kang.
Yeah.
I would leave it all behind, please.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like where this is going. I don't find any of this interesting. To me, it was a huge miss to not do that with another Avenger type character. Like, I know that Thor was with the Guardians, but I thought like for what they were going for, like Thor would have fit into that story just humor wise. I think you needed some actual like powerful Avenger, Bruce Banner type level, whatever, to fight Kang. That way you didn't have to just beat him with ants. So, but yeah, super disappointed with that. I ranked it a 5 out of 10. I just think it's meh.
You think there's enough good and enough bad to balance itself out?
I have not rewatched it. I'm afraid to give it a 4. Like, I feel like I'm afraid of being mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, my initial reaction coming out of it was, so initially when I came out of it, I thought 6 out of 10. And then I remember
that's about where I was.
I remember thinking this is so much worse as I thought about it. So I 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't really find the movie funny, I don't think. And something I just can't stand, and this is just a moral thing for me, and I'm a whatever prude baby, whatever. I just also can't stand it when it's like a husband and wife like cheat on each other, like are married, and then they get separated through like crazy circumstances.
Yeah.
And then the writers like, we need to address what they did sexually. Like, I don't know why that needs to be in there.
Yeah.
Because they technically broke their marriage vow.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm like, oh, but it's a different universe. I understand it, but the reason it's in there is because they wrote it in there.
Yeah.
They could have just easily not wrote it in there.
Yeah.
And none of us would have been wondering why. With all the plot holes in Ant-Man Quantumanium, we would have had, not one of us would have been like, well, who are they banging? We need to know.
Fair point.
I think Paul Rudd's good in the movie. Oh, I remember the shot with the engine and like all the different Paul Rudds. Like, I thought that was cool. I liked that.
It's fun.
But yeah. Number 5, I have Brave New World, Captain America: Brave New World. Another one, I'm ranking it a 5 out of 10. I think probably Quantumaniums should be not a 5 out of 10. I just haven't rewatched it.
Yeah.
But I do think like the good and bad and Brave New World are equal and even out. The dialogue's terrible. Danny Ramirez can't give a line in that movie to save his life. I don't know why. He can't deliver a joke. None of the jokes land at all. No. The best, like the funniest, the best, like the only time our theater laughed was when Bucky showed up. Weird fight choreo. How is the fight choreography better than Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
But I like same as Captain America.
Yeah.
And that's kind of pulling it up for me. Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk does a good job. Number 4, this is where it might make people mad. The Marvels. I have Marvels at 4 out of 6 out of 10. Kamala Khan
just are really high on Kamala.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
She is so funny. She is hilarious. And she's electric. Like, she made that. It's so evident she is having the most fun out of anybody ever. Like, even a fan. Like it's just like, we have our heading. She is so freaking funny. Her delivery is great. She's an amazing actress. She's so great. I just really I watched that and was like, she's so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't watch the Marvels because of that. Because I was like, wow, more of her, please.
Yeah.
Brie Larson does a better job in this. I definitely did not like Nick Fury. He was too jokey for me. He's funny, but it just doesn't feel like the character. It feels like a very much different character.
Do you feel like he's gotten jokier over time?
No.
I think he has.
What other projects has he been in where he's been jokey?
Think about the Avengers the first time.
I am. I mean, I'm just telling you, to that level in the Marvels, like, he's very, like...
That's what I mean. Like, over time, he's gotten more, like...
I think this is too much of a jump.
You think it's a big jump?
Yeah, I think it's a big leap.
Because he's kind of jokey in
He's sarcastic.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. But he's like
Secret Invasion.
Sassy, sarcastic.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking in contrast, like the Avengers movie, the first one, he's like very stoic and very serious. Like, he has some serious lines that are funny, but he's not jokey. Do you know what I'm saying? These, he feels like he's trying to deliver funny lines in a serious way. And I'm like, ugh.
Maybe, but he's also younger in Captain Marvel, so I would almost give it a pass, character-wise, for there being more of a character arc.
That's a good point.
But in this, it's like drastically, like, you praying?
Like punch
Don't
lines.
stop praying.
Yeah.
And he starts praying at like stuff like just, and it's funny. I agree, it's funny. It's just different. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think everything the Marvels is fine.
Yeah.
But and then Kamala Khan brings it up from being just okay. Number 3, I have Deadpool Wolverine, 8 out of 10. Gosh, so fun, good time, electric theater experience.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Cannot wait for the next one.
Yeah.
I think what they were going for, they nailed it, and they did a good job.
Absolutely.
Number 2, I have the Thunderbolts at a 9 out of 10. I'm moving my score up on my second viewing. I said 8.5, maybe 9 with time. I officially go 9.
Yeah.
I really like this movie.
Join me.
We both agreed it's a top 10 Marvel movie that's come out. Everything's handled great. I, on this viewing, liked the ending so much more. and solidified that this movie is definitely 9 out of 10. It's very expertly crafted, and it is so interesting how, I don't know, like I'm trying to remember back, and I think it was just like I didn't want to see a mind fight, and so I just turned like myself off from it in the first episode or first viewing, and the second one I actually
more
just
open to it because you
experienced
knew.
it,
Yeah.
and I really liked it.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Like the thing that really gets me, I think, for the mind fight was like the shots of Yelena going through each room. It's just so interesting to me. I always kind of go back to that. I just think they did some cool stuff.
Yeah, and there's not time, but and Yelena is the focus of the movie. Part of me does think, though, like, should you have maybe taken time to do one thing for everyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. I think so.
A cut between each one. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think you should. Instead of doing 3 with Yelena, I mean, you just do one more and you could done all the Thunderbolts.
Like, what if Yelena's in her first room, she breaks into another room, and she's like, what is this? And it's the child's room of John Walker. And John Walker walks in, and she's like watching him go through it. And then she goes into like another one, and it's Ghost, and Ghost is going through it. And then by the end of it, they all kind of realize what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, there could be an interesting way to use Yelena and still see what the other ones went through too.
See, I think you could have done like different windows in Bob's attic, and then had Yelena be in Bob's attic, and then
she's looking into
each one.
John Walker and Ghost and not Taskmaster. Red Guardian. Like, we didn't really see anything with Red Guardian, did we? I guess they just rely on the fact that Natasha died, so he's sad.
Yeah, I don't know.
That.
I don't know what he's maybe going to. I don't know.
But regardless, you liked it better on the second watch.
Yep. And then number 1, I have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 at a 9 out of 10 score as well.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a great conclusion to those characters. And
emotional.
Super emotional.
First F word.
Yeah. Gets you psyched for the DCU.
Good point.
But yeah, it's good. I really like Guardians 3 a lot.
Solid.
Right. Go.
My list, pretty similar, but there's definitely some differences. So, last place, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit of a fraud. I've not finished The Marvels.
Okay.
I tried to watch it on Disney Plus and I fell asleep. So I haven't finished it. I don't know if it's just personal preference. I do need to sit down and fully watch it. I could just care less. I tried to watch Miss Marvel. Thought it was lighthearted, had some fun moments. Didn't finish the season. I'm not a huge fan of Captain Marvel, so I just don't think I really bought into the characters enough to really care about the Marvels. So I didn't see it in theaters, and again, I tried to watch it and kind of fell asleep. So it's going to be on the bottom just because I haven't finished it, and I just don't have that much of an interest in it. Personally, I don't really know why. It just never hooked me, I guess. So that's at number 6. Next, number 5, Ant-Man 3. I was with you on it. When I first watched it, like I remember coming out of the theater and being like, no, but this is really good. And like, but this is really good. And they're setting this up. And then like you sit on it and it's like, gosh, yeah, it's just not good. It definitely gets worse as I think about it. So I have Ant-Man 3 at number 5. I would probably put that around like I probably would give it a 4 out of 10. I will say though, I will stand on, I really think if they had given Jonathan Majors the right, aside from his personal life stuff, if they'd given Kang the Conqueror some more interesting stuff, I really would have liked him as Kang. I do like him as Kang and what we've been given, and I really wish the trajectory would have gone a different way for him, because I think he could have been a really menacing, strong Kang. And I think there's flecks of it, there's moments of it in Ant-Man 3 that I do really like, and I see the potential there. It just doesn't deliver on it fully. And I think it's very unfortunate. Number 4, I do have Captain America 4. I don't have a lot to say about this that you haven't already said. I like Sam. I really do like Sam. Again, it almost feels like I see the potential for Sam. He just didn't get enough. They didn't give him enough writing-wise. They didn't give him enough as his character in Captain America 4 to really let him shine. But I see the potential there, and I think maybe if the Russo brothers do something really cool, he could have a good opportunity to shine in the Avengers movies. And then this is where we differ a little bit. I have at number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Love it. I think I actually put it over Guardians of the Galaxy 1. When I was looking at my rank for the Thunderbolts, I have this over Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I think it's a little bit more emotional. It hits me a little bit differently than Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I think it's great. I think it's a really, really solid top 10 MCU movie. Number 2, though, and this is where maybe I contradict myself a little bit, but I have Deadpool and Wolverine at 2. I would probably rank Guardians of the Galaxy 3 over this, but I think I just have so much fun with Deadpool and Wolverine that I think in just Marvel Phase 5, I'm going to put it at 2. It's so fun. I watched this movie 3 times in theaters. It's just an absolute blast. Seeing Hugh Jackman come back, having Ryan Reynolds and them together in a movie, it's like the ultimate buddy movie. I think it's great. And then at number 1, I have Thunderbolts. I think it's the best movie out of this phase. I have it over Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think it's just so fantastic. I think it's some of the best written MCU that we've gotten. I think it's some of the best cinematography we've gotten. I think it's some of the best dialogue at moments that we've gotten. Specifically, like between Yelena and Red Guardian, there's just some really dialed in dialogue here that's just really freaking good. And I think it's the best thing to come out of this phase. I really do, pretty confidently. So I think Thunderbolts, yeah, top 10 MCU. Very, very confident in that. So now let me ask you this. Based on your rankings, and we can pull in other projects if we want to, do you feel like Marvel Phase 5 is a success?
I would say, I guess based on my rankings, it is. It's a net positive. I think it's probably a net positive. I think it's had Brave New World been at least a 7 out of 10, I would have given you a definitive yes.
I think
fumbling Brave New World is so bad, in my opinion. I could have forgiven Quantumanium and like the things I didn't like about Marvels, but like fumbling Brave New World is just so terrible.
Yeah,
I don't know how that
really
happens.
is. Yeah, to me, Marvel Phase 5 has 3 under par and 3 over par. But I think Thunderbolts is such a high, and Deadpool and Wolverine is such an event that I think it is a net positive. But I think it teeters because I would say Cap 4, Ant-Man 3, and the Marvels, caveat the Marvels for my opinion on it. But I think those are under par more than likely. So it does kind of teeter on that line. I think if you add in like Loki, that's a positive. Daredevil Born Again, positive. Highs and lows on that. Other projects like Secret Invasion, things like that, I think are not a net positive. So I think it's kind of close. I think it's close between positive and negative, but I think the highs of Thunderbolts in Deadpool and Wolverine specifically.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to score the phase out of 10, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. And that's literally what my scores average out to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid score, I would say. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, worth it. We got Deadpool and Wolverine, we got Thunderbolts, and we got Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Absolutely worth it. I mean, 2 of those are, in my opinion, top 10 MCU movies. So I should probably say it's a definitive positive then, because those are so good, honestly. So, yeah, very positive. We'll see. I will say, I think after Thunderbolts, I'm hoping to see Marvel kind of enter into a good stride here.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
All right. Last of Us.
Last
Episode
of Us.
5.
Episode 5.
Number 5.
This is a tricky one to talk about, I feel like.
Why?
There's things I like, there's things I don't like. It also kind of, like, it's it's both important, but it also kind of feels like a transition episode. They do some interesting choices. It's not like a gut punch episode or like a huge moment episode for me, but they do have some interesting things through it. And we can kind of talk a little bit about it. I guess you want to just talk spoilers. I think we have to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We're getting into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it, come back to it. But tell me what you think about it.
Yeah. So this is the first time I've been saying for a minute, they are taking things from Ellie's character and they are from the game and they're giving them to Dina. I've been saying that a lot.
Yes.
And I said that like they're literally taking character traits I know from Ellie and giving them to Dina. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. And I assume it's to build up Dina's character. This is the first episode where I'm like, definitively, they've passed each other. Like, Dina is now Ellie, and Ellie is now Dina.
Yes.
For whatever reason. And that, to me, that is the most evident in the opening shot, or the
it's
opening
on purpose,
sequence.
Though.
Yeah, absolutely. Opening sequence, when you have Dina triangulating, and Ellie's like, I don't know, I'm so stupid, like, I can't figure it out. I turned the lights on, though. That should be flipped. That should, like, one, Ellie's father just got murked, okay? Yeah. She should be pissed and she'd be angry, and I agree with everybody who said that. I do, and I disagree with anyone saying, but it's her character, she's lighthearted and she's jokey. She's jokey in season 1. Mm-hmm. Sure. But
now she's in serious mode.
This is traumatic, like, revenge quest.
Yeah.
To me, it's the first time I've truly, truly, truly felt it.
Yeah.
And I just these need to be swapped. I don't know why Dina is so serious, mm-hmm. and I don't know why Ellie's so jokey. Yep. I just don't get it. It makes me think they're going to change the ending with how much they're building Dina up. It really makes me think they're going to do something different. I don't... Because of some lines in here that are, she's like, I don't care. It wouldn't matter if my family went after that guy's family first. I wouldn't care. I would have my revenge.
Yeah.
That puts, because of what happens later, that puts Dina in a certain mind space that you're going to have to revert. I don't want to, but like later she's faced with a decision. And it's the opposite of what that line means.
Oh, okay.
So it's a different motivation almost. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't feel... It kind of just feels like Dina's the one on the revenge quest and Ellie's just tagging along. In my opinion. Until the end of the episode.
Yeah.
The last sequence, the Sapphirites... to the end of the episode, mm-hmm. That is perfect.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's done perfectly.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think Bella Ramsey does a great job in that whole sequence. It's
the first
very faithful to the game. Extremely faithful. Yeah. And it's the first time, like, I'm like, yeah, this is how Ellie needs to be acting all the time. Mm-hmm. Every scene, I should feel this in her conversations with Dina. I should feel this when they're walking through Seattle. Also... Are they not practically screaming walking around the town? Like, they're talking so loud.
Yeah.
Like, why?
And I also thought about, like, them being held up in that, like, hotel or whatever, like, all the lights on. I'm like, is somebody not going to notice them at all? And maybe that's a minor, like...
I think they're on in the game. I don't know.
Are they?
Yeah, they're definitely on at some point in the game. But
sometimes I feel like this is very obvious that they're here.
It was daytime, so you might not see it. And not nighttime.
Maybe, yeah.
But I would agree with you.
I think overall, like, yes, to your point, they're like shouting at each other in the show. I'm like, they like set it up in that last episode that they're not far from the tower where WLF is. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, would like nobody see them? Like, would no patrols hear them? Like, or anything? It does feel a little like they're not taking a lot of care being in Seattle right now. Close to enemies. I did notice that a couple times, but yeah, they are kind of shouting at each other.
They see a pile of dead bodies that were clearly dropped there.
Yeah.
And they're like just walking around, just talking at volume. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've like completely switched them, and I don't understand, and it makes me think that they're gonna do something different than the ending. But the sequence with Ellie and Nora, that's very good. I loved when she's like, "Do you know what Joel did? Da 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 da." And you want to avenge that guy? And she goes, "I know." And then she grabs that pipe and like I love that. Belly Ramsey really brought it there. But something I'm just putting into perspective is there's no way we're finishing the game storyline in season 2.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No way.
Yeah.
And that is going to... I'm not going to like that. If they don't change anything. If they change something, cool. If they do not, which I think they are because of what they're doing with Dina. Like, I think they're setting this up for... I don't understand how she makes certain decisions later in the game with the mentality they're giving her now. That doesn't compute with me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't think... they're gonna finish the season. My best guess would be they're gonna do the flashback episode, which I'm really looking forward to next episode. But then you would have to flip to Abby's perspective for 2 episodes, and then do the joint come together battle of them two.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And there's maybe 2 hours after that. I don't know what. Like I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like I really hope they don't save Abby's perspective for season 3. I won't like that at all.
This is episode 5. We're getting
6 is the flashback episode.
Yep.
So then you have 7 and 8, which could be Abby perspective. And I think you probably could do Abby in 2 episodes. I mean, like Ellie and Dina have been in Seattle for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I think you could do that, and then they all come to a head at some point in the final. But that's not the...
How many episodes? Isn't it 8?
I thought it was 10.
Is it 10?
No. I thought it was 9.
Maybe it's 9. Yeah.
You
might be right.
They could all come together. Like, they're going to all come together in the final, and that's still not enough time to do, because it's not the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think they're going to drag this out. I mean... Because if they wrap up the game, then season 3 would be all new content.
Oh, wow. Okay. No,
It's only 8?
7 episodes. It's
7 episodes?
There's no way they're going to get to any of Abby's stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I think because they want season 3 probably to be the culmination of that. I mean, I don't have thoughts on it because I haven't played the game.
I feel like it's just a nothing complaint. I just don't I want to be done with this storyline just because of I want to see new at this point. But
it's so interesting because I don't feel that way at all.
Unless they're not going to do Abby perspective at all. They might not do Abby at all.
Maybe.
That would be a miss, though. What do you feel?
So, here's what I'll say. This episode did not necessarily sway me one way or the other as far as I think it was I think it was a good episode. I really liked it. But it wasn't the most impactful on how I've been feeling. But after thinking about this show a lot this week, I think I've been thinking so much about what people other than me think based on comparing it to the game. And I think I'm washing all that out of my brain. I'm just going to eliminate that. And I think when I do, I think this is a great show. I think from just a show's perspective, I have no context of the game whatsoever really from here on out. I just don't know where this goes. But I think for what I'm getting show-wise, I'm loving it. I'm eating it up. I think this is great.
Ellie doesn't bother you?
So I think I've been thinking a lot of, and I've been hearing a lot of people saying it's a difference. It's different from what Ellie is in the game. And I think I've been letting that affect me. I think if I don't, because I don't really have a lot of context for the game. I didn't sit with the character. I didn't play with it. This episode makes me not, this episode helps me not be bothered by Ellie as much. Because when she kind of turns and ticks it on and gets serious, I'm like, here she is. This is what I've been kind of waiting for And I think that from here on out, we're going to really get that. Ellie locks in when she needs to. Dina softens her, and I like that. And I think it kind of makes that make a little bit more sense. Because when she's with Dina, she's in love with Dina. She lets her guard down. When Dina's not in the scene, she's serious revenge Ellie. And this episode kind of proves that. From the moment she goes into the hospital, from the moment she's chasing Nora, she is locked into revenge mode. But when she's with Dina, she's softened. I think it just kind of shows a little bit more maybe of their relationship. When they're in kind of the, when they're getting attacked and Jessie shows up, right? That's her moment. I'm here to protect you. Like this is Ellie's role of I'm your protector. She steps up and she does it. Now she fails in a way. Jessie has to save her, but she steps up when it's necessary. So I started feeling after this episode that when Ellie and Dina are together, there's some vulnerability there. But when crap hits the fan, Ellie steps up and plays the character that she needs to be. So it's not bothering me as much, I think, now after this episode, personally. And I also think it's interesting, specifically because Jessie does save her. It does play this kind of interesting dynamic of Ellie tries to step up and she kind of fails. And she kind of, is bothered by that. When Jessie's like, she was like, we're fine. And Jessie's like, yeah, really? And she's like, until we weren't. So it kind of shows some vulnerability for Ellie's character too. Now, again, I don't know the game. I don't know. Maybe she's more of a bad
I'm just saying you're on this revenge quest. You've gone against what everyone told you to do so you could go to Seattle. Mm-hmm. And it feels like we're just playing pretend fairy tale. Like, hey,
it did until
I got the lights on. You find Abby yet? Nope. Keep on trying, champ. Let's kiss. Like that's not the same.
That's my point, though. Until we got to the moment with Nora, she locks in.
That's stupid.
Dina's her vulnerability.
No,
I think they're trying to show her. I think Ellie has been hardened this entire time. Dina absolutely has.
The entire time she's been hardened. What do you mean?
Up to season 2. She has been very callous, very cold, specifically towards Joel. Again, Joel softens her a little bit in moments, and she gets a little bit vulnerable. Season 2, how does she start? Very cold, very hardened. Her and Joel are on the outs. She's not connecting with Dina, right? She feels kind of like that beginning of season 1 Ellie. She's cold. She's very kind of reserved, a little bit removed. She's having problems with Joel. Her relationship with Dina starts to kick up. What happens? She gets vulnerable again. And over the last couple episodes, we've seen Ellie let her guard down and be more vulnerable. This episode, she starts very vulnerable with Dina. When crap hits the fan, she's faced with Nora. We're back to Ellie being kind of that cold, hardened, you see the killer behind her eyes. So what I came out of this thinking is we're just seeing some of Ellie's vulnerability with Dina. But what this shows me is that when it's time to get serious, she steps up and plays that hard Ellie that we know she can be and needs to be. So that's why I was kind of feeling like, I kind of see what they're trying to do here, specifically because we saw some of that vulnerability as her and Joel's relationship started to kind of develop. They're doing that again with Dina because they're trying to do that kind of one-to-one relationship that they had with Joel in season 1. So I just kind of started to personally feel like I understand what they're doing a little bit and I'm okay with it. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
First of all, the first time we see Ellie is that she's in that fight with that guy. She said she gets him in that headlock. Boom, mother effer. Mm-hmm. She's not hardened. She's playing the jokes. She's being goofy like she is in the rest of with Dina. She's doing that with Jessie.
She's not smiling and being goofy. No.
Yes, she is.
She's cracking
she is
lines.
With Tommy as well when they're out
cracking lines, but it's very different.
No.
I don't agree with that at all.
No.
I think her guard being down with Dina, her conversations with Dina are very open and a lot more emotional than anything Jessie or Tommy.
No, but you're saying but that's like, you're just because of the dialogue and they've written it there. But we're talking attitude, like general demeanor.
She's a prick still towards Tommy and Jessie. Her general demeanor, yes, I'll give you.
She's given
some lines, But with Dina, she's not still like a prick or an a-hole. Like I feel like she's fully let her guard down.
Yeah, that's different. We're talking about different things.
Well, you said the point is like we open up and she's kind of being this way.
Right, snarky.
I think she's still being hard.
I think she's being snarky. I think she's being snarky with Dina as well.
Snarky and being very vulnerable, I think, is different.
Yeah, she's not trying to sleep with Jesse. Like, I don't understand. Like, she's being flirty, but she's still very snarky.
Snarky, but I think she's still being very much like a prick. Like she gives it back to Jesse. She's being that way towards Joel and Tommy.
She gives it back to Dina when Dina challenges her. Like, it's just a jokey relationship. I just completely...
But Ellie with Dina is a lot more vulnerable than with Jesse or Tommy. You have to give that.
I mean, yeah. I don't understand what that point is.
Like her general demeanor is so different to me. Like, I mean, them in the tent, like she's smiling, she's happy, she feels very like unguarded, and she still feels guarded when she's talking to Jesse and Tommy to me in those first couple episodes. And I feel like Dina is letting her guard down, and then the guard's back up when she's facing Nora.
I just don't yeah, cool. She has a split personality disorder.
No, I'm not saying it's different personalities.
I think it's completely different.
It's the difference between how you would talk to me versus your wife. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, our conversations are going to be different than like if it's just you and your wife.
Yeah, you're right. And I would talk to her differently if someone just murdered my dad and we were trying to find them. I wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't revert when I'm with her to just time before. It would not revert. It would be a consistent theme throughout all of my conversations, whether that we're doing X, Y, and Z, and it would be about the mission. I just disagree. I don't think...
But I think if we were on a journey together... our conversations are going to look very different than if you and your wife were on a journey together. Yes, there still would be those conversations.
I'm agreeing with you.
But you would have a softness towards your wife more than you would me.
Yeah. But
that's what I'm saying.
But it's overplayed. You don't have to do both. Like, you don't, it's not one or the other. You can convey a sense of dread and guilt and suffering and not be, I got the lights on, I was always bad at math. What's a protractor? Like, you don't, like those, you can do both. And without, it's not one or the other. You can convey an openness with Dina and it be emotional. Like, it's not like one or the other. I just disagree with that. Like, I agree with you with all the Jesse stuff, but to me, that doesn't feel as like, that is not the same as with Nora. Like, that's not the same at all. Like how upset she is.
Yeah.
Like, that
obviously
is closer with her relationships and how she talks with Jesse and how she Jesse and Ellie in the weed farm. Mm-hmm. That's not drastically different than how she's been acting around Ellie or Dina.
I think your demeanor's different. I will give you that. It's closer, but I still would personally say that I think her demeanor in Dina, specifically in the tent, specifically in the hospital, is still a little less guarded than Jesse. But I'll give you that point, honestly.
But I mean, it's like, is that the conversation to have? Like, yeah, they're going to be different, and it's written that way. It's more of like, should they be different? Yes. Like, should they feel so distinctly different? No, I don't think they should. I don't think it should feel like a new character. You're saying, oh, Ellie's turned it on. Why is it not on all the time?
Because she doesn't feel like it needs to be when she's with Dina.
When she's walking around Seattle, when there's wolf patrolling everywhere, she doesn't feel like she needs to be on?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't have a great answer for that. But, like, I just don't think... I think they're just trying to show the vulnerability with Dina
I'm telling
in that
you,
relationship.
They are overdoing it. They are subtracting from Ellie and adding to Dina in a way it's being overdone. You can have that, but it doesn't have to be the way they've done it. They're doing it too much.
So that's preference. I have felt I would probably 100% agree with you up until this episode, because I felt like the stuff with Nora showed me that kind of dichotomy that they're trying to pit here, and that we still have Ellie being very much on that revenge arc when it's time to get serious. So maybe it just doesn't bother me preferentially as much as it is you.
The most that, like, the thing I disagree with is like when you say time to get serious. You're in enemy freaking territory. we're serious all the time. Like, I don't understand that. Like, yeah, there should be a dichotomy between her and Dina at the homecoming thing and their relationship before to this. It should feel different, and the difference is Joel's death. Like, that would be the dichotomy. But the dichotomy shouldn't be my mornings with Dina trying to get the power on, and then I'm going to go murder and beat someone with a pipe. Like, I don't understand that. Like those they're too different. It's like this person is here to murk all of Abby's friends and Abby in revenge for Joel. Like, that's what she's there to do, and it just doesn't feel like the character to end your downtime. It doesn't feel realistic at all to end the downtime be of that demeanor. And I understand she's open, but you can be open and not be like smiling and comedic and whatever. I just think they didn't change her character at all from season 1 when there wasn't this overlooming trauma and grief over her head. I feel like it's not there, like you said. Then it gets turned on. Okay, then it feels present again. I don't think it should feel like that. I think it should feel consistent throughout all of her interactions going forward. And I agree, they need to feel different with each person, and she should be more open with Dina, absolutely. Yep. But it shouldn't be like you said, oh, she turned it on. I don't agree with that.
So you just want a more consistently serious Ellie because of the arc that they're on.
I want to feel like she's sad and overtaken with grief, other than when she's in front of Abby's friends. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, it's just not realistic. Like, if I were to lose my dad today, I wouldn't just be myself with my wife and then upset with you. Mm-hmm. This wouldn't be the case. And I would say the same vice versa. Mm-hmm. Like, this is like our podcast is the Get Crap Done. It wouldn't be, I'm going to be myself with my wife and then completely serious. Like, no, they would affect both of these things.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it would do. So I just don't like you using these specific words. Oh, she's turning it on. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, it snaps into view. You're acting like she's forgetting about this overarching trauma and grief until she's in front of, like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here, what I'm here to do. It just feels different. They nail it when they have to nail it. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you that.
Yeah.
It just, the downtime to me, I agree with people. Like, it's just, like, I like the I'm going to be a dad line, like I said that, and I think I might be contradicting myself here. I just was, like, hoping it would not continue. Mm-hmm. Like, Ellie has a sense of humor. She absolutely has a sense of humor in the game.
Yeah.
You know how emotionally exhausted you are? Like, I don't want to compare it to the game, but there's an emotional exhaustedness I felt in the game.
It's fine to compare it to the game.
And I don't want to compare it, but it just doesn't feel realistic to me that this person's dad died 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This person they loved most in the world was brutally murdered in front of their eyes, and I'm on a revenge quest to kill them. It does not feel like it's the case.
Yeah.
That's just, and I agree with you. I just think it's overdone. Like, yeah, be more open, but I can think of probably Peter. Let's look at No Way Home when Aunt May dies and his interactions with maybe MJ versus like the Toby and Andrew. Like,
yeah,
those are distinctly different, but the overarching grief is still the same. And it's not like okay, here we go. It's not like Aunt May died. Okay.
I don't know if that's a good
no, listen. It's not like Aunt May died, and then when he's with MJ, he's like, I can be vulnerable with you, and I can be normal, and I can relax. And then when I see the Green Goblin, I'm gonna tear his freaking head off. Mm. No, it's evident Peter's pissed the entire time. This is not the same thing here.
The only thing that stands out to me in that, though, is like his stuff with Peter. Well, Andrew and Toby is very lighthearted and very jokey post.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like when they're in the lab, all of that feels like he's not thinking about Aunt May. That's the only thing I think about. You're right. The initial stuff with MJ though, yeah, it's very emotional. He's kind of going through it, but like he's cracking it up with Ned and the other Spider-Men in that lab as they're creating serums.
None
and
of
stuff.
that is bothers me as much as like
That's the only
more
point
so
where
like, hey, have you guys fought any cool villains? Like that to me is more so against my point. The lab stuff I think is like,
Oh, you mean the end fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that is
Yeah.
very like, you guys are so cool. Like that stuff's a little, but
I don't think like. I guess I'm not even thinking about that.
I'll give you the point for MJ.
like
I
the
think rest of
MJ
it's a
to
little-
the Peters, like, and then like they even go like he's gonna kill him the entire time. I know he's pissed.
Yeah.
I know he is. I think there's probably there's better examples, but that's dang, that blew up in my face.
I didn't mean to blow that up in your face or anything, but
No, but I do think it's definitely not like I do think this is like there's a feeling of like there's a version of Ellie that doesn't feel affected at all, and then there's a version that like Dina's leading this charge. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if Ellie's in it. Dina seems more in it than Ellie at points.
yeah.
I think that's problematic. Mm-hmm. The fact that it's we can turn around, and Dina's like, no, we're staying. That's bad. That's a problem because it should be the Ellie going, you can leave. That's different. And Dina's the one like, no, I'm staying. We're getting this done.
Is that different than the game?
Yes. Like I'm not comparing it, but I'm just saying.
No, it's okay, yeah.
I don't. Why does it feel like Dina is dragging Ellie along in this? Like, why does Ellie feel like she would totally be helpless without Dina? Mm-hmm. And like that's maybe trying to elevate Dina's character, but I already think Dina brings a lot of value, being the person she can be vulnerable with.
Yeah. I know they're purposely writing it that way because
Which makes me think they're changing it. Like
Craig Mazin said. So, do you watch like the end, like where the whatever they call it, like just where the directors or whatever? I feel like that. This is an interesting thought. I think that always affects how I think about the episode. Sometimes what they say kind of changes how I feel about it. And specifically at the end of this episode, Craig Mazin says, up to this point, Dina's been kind of taking care of Ellie, and in this episode, Ellie then takes care of Dina. It's time for her to kind of do that. And I thought, oh, so you're intentionally doing that. Like, you're intentionally having Dina leading this charge, taking care of her, and giving Ellie the moment in this episode. And I don't, like, that thought didn't go much further, but I did think, like, you're intentionally doing that for a reason. That is kind of interesting, I would say. Because it sounds like from the games, it's different.
It's absolutely different.
So they're changing that.
They're setting Ellie up to basically send Dina away. There's no way Ellie doesn't come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I don't think Ellie can tell her right from left without Dina.
Yeah.
I think Ellie is going to get capped in the middle of the day without Dina, just because of how strategically unaware she is. Mm-hmm. And there's an argument, and it's a big.
You don't think the end of the episode? I hate to say this word. You don't think the end of the episode kind of fixes some of that?
No. But here's the thing.
Because when she does go off on her own, she gets crap done.
Yeah.
I'll give you the point. I'm. That's why I said I almost hesitate to say fix it. This is almost not. I'm not gonna die on the hill at this point, but I guess some of the end of the episode just kind of made me feel a little bit more like Ellie's in more control than they have alluded. Maybe I'm adding context there.
I don't think you're wrong, and I think they have to write it like that because Dina's out of commission now. She's not walking, so it's going to be all Ellie from here on out.
Yeah. True.
So that's maybe it, to your point about like I think there's a difference between intention and execution. Mm-hmm. Like
I think
yeah,
and I think we just disagree on the execution.
It might be on purpose.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it good because you did something on purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, I agree. I've known from the beginning you're trying to give Dina more, and I liked what you were doing in the beginning, but then you made her there instead of Tommy. Mm-hmm. And then you make her more capable than Ellie. Mm-hmm. Ellie should be Joel and Tommy are like the guys for survival. And Ellie is a direct apprentice to one of them, and Ellie doesn't know what the frick she's doing. I don't like until it turns on in her brain that she's got to get stuff done. I just no.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Tommy coming to Seattle?
I don't. You're gonna have to justify that somehow, and if you don't, I'm gonna hate it.
What do you mean justify?
Give me a reason why he didn't leave the day before.
I think they can make that work. I think he could be conflicted because he's the leader of the town, and he finally made the decision that Ellie can't do this on her own. I need to go help her. I think that could work. I think it makes sense. I think they've set him up enough of a leader for if they said, this is me saying if they did this, if they said he was conflicted about it, but ultimately snuck out, because they do say snuck out and made the decision
to bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
Not
either bring them back or help Ellie because she can't do it on her own.
Jesse said bring them back.
Did he say that?
Yep.
I don't remember that episode. Or I don't remember.
Now
that
Tommy
line.
could have
Gotcha.
an ulterior motive, which is what I'm saying is justification.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's like, why does it?
I just think from the context of the show, they could make it work.
I'm saying they have to. Like I'm saying, you're
yeah.
going to have to justify changing it. So far, I don't think they've justified any of the changes that they've made.
It's so interesting because like I don't know like. I mean, I know some of the choices, but just me from a show's perspective, like I could care less like the fact that Tommy didn't go initially and he's there now. Like I feel like whatever reason they give me, as long as it's just written well enough, I'll be fine. If it's like really outrageous and stupid and noticeable, then I probably won't like it. But if they're like, yeah, if they'd go with the line of like, he's here to bring you back. It's too dangerous. You know, you don't want to go down this road. Like you're going to go so far and you're not going to be able to come back. It would all make sense to me because I don't have context for, from the game. So that's why I kind of said, I was thinking about it this week and I was like, if I just like push the game context out of the way and for what I'm getting, I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. Like I'm really liking it. And I really want to see where it goes, even post Joel, which I'm a little surprised about. So I think it's working. But that's me.
I don't understand how you can't think like, yeah, it would have been so much better had Tommy been in the room like he should have been. And then, like, it's just, like, I don't understand why.
You mean me specifically? Or,
yeah.
No, I mean, I told you when we talked about it, like, yeah, I think there's a world where that works, and I think it could be better. I was just saying in the context of that episode, I liked where Tommy was. That's what I was just saying. Because of, and I talked about this exhaustively, but like because of Tommy being in the town and setting him up as a leader and everything that he did, I really liked that. So for me, because I liked where Tommy was and what he was doing, I was like, yeah, I'm on board for this. This is fine. But I do see a world like the game where that could be a huge emotional moment to have Tommy in that room. But because they made the change, I was fine with it. But that's just the difference between you lived it with Tommy, I did not. Which is fun. That's why maybe... Squeeze this a little harder, man. That's why maybe, like, in some ways it alienates some of the game audience if they don't like it. In other ways, it brings both together. Because I didn't have that experience and I like what they're doing. And maybe for some people, they played the game and if they do like this, then they experience it too. I don't know. You're just not on that train. I think it's
Why
good.
are they changing it?
I don't have a great answer for that, to be honest. I guess unless they just want to do something different. You like just be more original. Different content.
What universe is it a good idea where you made a decision and a lot of people hated your decision but agreed your game and story was good?
Yeah.
Where you're not going to change the thing that people hated, but you're going to change the redeeming quality of it. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of people say that. Universe is that a good idea?
Yeah.
If they change the ending, I'm down. But I'm just setting the precedent that if they don't change it, I'm going to be like, you're going to have to freaking justify all of these decisions being different.
Yeah.
And so far, you haven't justified Dina being there instead of Tommy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If they think it adds to Dina's character so much that she was there with Joel, I just disagree, because it should never be Dina driving the car in the first place. Mm-hmm. And that's why they did that. It's like, well, we want Dina to help and take care of Ellie. Why? Why does that have to be like that? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Ellie just seems like she could care less. Until, like you said, she turns it on. She's like, all right, I guess I'm angry now. She looked like an absolute psychopath in that scene.
She really did. That was
but
terrifying.
It's like, dude, it is, I don't want to be that guy, but it is interesting, like, yeah, and the game scene's better. Mm-hmm. It's acted better. It's more emotional. I think if you were to take it out of the context of the game and look at them side by side, you'd be like, why did Bella play it like that? Like, why was it directed like that? Bella's a great actress, so it's clearly directed like that.
Yeah.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you making these changes? Like, I don't want to be like.
Scene though.
It's so, the game is so emotionally taxing by the end. I feel what they want me to feel, which is like, I just want it to be over. Mm-hmm. I want vendettas to be done. I don't care if you get revenge or whoever gets revenge
just
on who. Just be done. I'm over it. I'm just so tired. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think they're missing that.
Yeah.
There's also like a lot of scenes where Ellie's seeing Joel's dead body around. And that helps a lot. Mm-hmm. Fuel the fire. That could really help out
in the game.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually really interesting.
Like why? Like that would really.
That would be awesome to see in the show.
Finally, something you. Finally, something you're like, yeah, that would be good.
That would be good. Yeah, I mean, that would be really interesting if she is occasionally seeing Joel's dead body. Yeah, that would be.
That would make everything with Dina better.
I think if she was continuing to be vulnerable and happy and then it quickly.
Yep.
Oh shoot, and like regrounds her quickly.
I know.
And it's almost like she's fighting it. You know what I mean? That'd be interesting.
I don't know what they're doing. You're gonna play the game, right?
I do want to.
Yeah, I don't see how you think that this is better.
I think I'm going to play the game after the season's over.
Good idea.
I really want to feel this season without game context. I really want to just see how I feel coming from that perspective, and then play the games, and then I'll see how I feel. Because I really do want to. I do want to have the perspective that I currently have, because I feel like I'm really liking it right now, and I don't want to hate it if I like the game a lot better. But we'll see.
I think the show's still good. I'm just saying I don't understand these changes, and so far they're not justifying them. Mm-hmm. So what are we doing?
Yeah,
you're not justifying the like again, like you people were very clear with what they didn't like. I've heard them say it in interviews. People did not like this thing. Yeah. You're not going to change that. You're actually going to make that worse than it was in the game, like compositionally.
Yeah.
Then you're going to change the things that people do like, which was getting redeemed through the revenge quest.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. I don't understand.
We did get spores, though.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Obviously I saw that in the trailer last week, but I didn't know. The idea of spores in this show is terrifying. I think that's a really great thought, because everything has been transmitted through bites and through attacks and things like that. For it to be airborne post-COVID, it's a really interesting and I think a very terrifying thought. And I think how they played in with Nora was really cool. I loved that. Because I didn't know that was coming, to be honest with you. Like I said, obviously it was in like the little trailer at the end of the last episode, and I thought, oh, that's unique. But how it plays out in this episode, I think that's so cool. I think that's really interesting. Just this idea of like, it's airborne, Now, I know in the context of this, you have to be in proximity. It's not just like an airborne virus, right? Isn't that right? Like, you have to be within distance. Breathe it in.
You can only, like, survive in, like, a specific type of climate.
Yeah, so it's not just, like, airborne traveling through, but just the idea of it being airborne in this world of, oh, it's not just I can avoid the infected, like, it could be in the air. I think it's just wild. I think that's cool. I'm curious to see where they take that.
Yeah, I think the reason that they haven't brought it in until this point is so stupid.
More?
Because the reason they didn't do it in season 1 is because they didn't want to put a mask on Pedro Pascal's face. Because of the Mandalorian and how...
Oh, that's right.
Pissy, like,
I thought Spores was introduced in
Nope.
2.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Again, I could care less. That's fine.
I'm going to kill you.
Dude, why would I care that it's not like, this is the first time I'm experiencing it. If I haven't played the game, then I have I could care less. I'm this is a crazy
reason to not do it, because
a dumb reason to not do it.
You don't want to care. You don't want to cover Pedro Pascal's face for 2 minutes.
Well, that reason,
so
yes,
stupid.
But I'm saying in the context of like the show, it being like a season 2 reveal that, oh shoot, there's this infected out here where it's airborne, like this new development. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because if everybody in season 1 thinks it's transmitted a certain way, and then all of a sudden in season 2 they discover, oh shoot, it can be airborne, that's like a world-shattering thing for them. So for that to be a season 2 reveal, I think that's great. I'll stand by that.
Sure.
I think the reason the mask thing is a stupid reason from the outside, but I think the way they wrote it in, great.
Yeah, it might just come down to like,
I'll take it.
You like. To me, it's like, yep, I already know it's airborne. So it doesn't feel like anything to me.
I did not. So for me in this episode, I was like, oh, shoot, that's awesome. That's crazy. It's airborne, and that shatters everybody's world.
There's also, my brother brought this up to me. Huge. I'll bring it up if it comes up. But there is a huge problem with that scene.
With the scene where you're experiencing the spores for the first time?
Where that happens. There's something that happens later. And because they've established it to be a hive mind, awful plot hole if they don't change anything.
Interesting. Yeah, if it comes up later, you have to tell me. Because that is a difference, right? This is more of a hive mind in the show than it is the game.
There's a scene, like, from Abby's perspective in that room. And if they're not going to change anything,
then it doesn't work.
It makes no sense.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to bring it up if it does get to that point. But yeah, I mean, I thought that stuff was interesting. Again, I didn't know it was coming, so to me, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, me and my brother the whole time were like, well, how are they going to do Nora without spores?
Yeah.
I'm happy they brought it back, but I don't necessarily feel like it's a reveal. Like, it can only exist in a very specific set of circumstances. So it's like it's
so it's not as
in an event where you would accidentally run into that, you probably shouldn't be in the building anyways. Like, it's not going to be like, oh no, I just walked down the road, now there's spores here. Like, it's like a very specific set of circumstances. So it is not going to change. Like, Wyoming, like Jackson isn't going to change at all because of that. Yeah. It's not going to be any different. So. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was a good episode. Wasn't the best one of the season, but I like where it's going. I'm liking the show. I think it's great. We'll play the games later, and maybe I'll change my mind. But
I like it too. It's just bothering me that you're like, I don't know. Who knows?
I literally have like no context for the games. So all I can do is come to this show from what I'm watching and experiencing. And if I'm liking it, that's valid, Christian.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This is objective.
My opinion is valid.
It's objective.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you can't have an opinion. Yeah, it's the right opinion, which is either throw your punch or change it.
Or I'm coming to it with no context of the game, and they changed it, and I like it.
You don't know what they changed.
But I do after you've told me.
Yeah, but like, you don't...
I've said multiple times, I see a world where this specific thing works really well. But from what I'm experiencing just watching the show, I think it works. So
Just
I'm
as
bulletproof.
well?
I'm bulletproof.
Just as well.
I'm bulletproof. Well, I can't know just as well because I haven't experienced the other one.
But no,
I think it could work just as well. Yes.
Oh, you don't think it works as well as what you're saying?
No, I'm saying, like, for example, the Tommy being in the cabin could work just as well if they wrote it closer to the game. But for the episode's context, I don't think it works as well.
Not if the person leading Jackson is Jesse instead of it being Tommy.
That's what I just said, though.
Yeah.
For the context of what we are given, I think it doesn't work as well. I don't think I would have liked the Jackson sequences with Jesse there as much as Tommy. Personally.
You can't see a world where you like that just as much. I sure can. I don't think you would think anything of it.
Maybe.
I think that would make Jesse cooler when he shows up.
Maybe. I just like what
You just got to justify it. That's all I'm saying.
But in your mind, you have to justify it because you know how it is differently. So for me, I'm not thinking they need to justify it. Does that you see where the difference there is?
I do.
You're
but
looking for justifications for the changes. I'm not looking for any justifications because I don't know what they're changing. I'm just experiencing it and going, do I like this or do I not?
You don't think objectively like, hey, if you're going to change things, make sure they're changes that are actually better and improve things? You don't think objectively that should be true? Or like you should just change things even if they're like, they don't make things. Let's say like I don't know why you would change something even if it did make it better or worse. Why change it?
But what I'm saying is I don't know if it's better or worse.
I get it. You don't know. I'm just saying.
So I can't answer your question.
As a taking this out of it as an objective statement, you're going to change something. Let's look at think about maybe something in the MCU.
Yes, I think you should improve upon it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Not change it and it'd be worse.
Yes.
Or I disagree even with like just as good. While you
I think you should strive to improve on it.
While you like the Horde sequence, I liked it too. Lots of people liked it. Mm-hmm. It has no impact for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. None. Therefore, it doesn't justify...
Tell that to everyone that died in Jackson.
Who cares?
Wow.
Who died?
I don't know.
You want to... You don't know? Clearly you don't care.
Well, yeah, I don't. Yes, I think you should strive to improve upon it. But I do say if there's two versions here, if there's one version that's the game and there's one version that's the show, I think you can subjectively like each of them differently, hate each of them differently, and I think you can either choose to like both, choose to hate both, you can choose to like one and not the other. I think you can come to it subjectively. So I think there is a world, and I'm sure there's people out there that love the game and also love the show. Right now, I only have context for the show, and I love this show. So I think you can come to them subjectively, even though they're different. Because I think some people will probably go, I think the changes improve it. I haven't really researched to really hear that, so I don't really know.
One person say that.
I'm sure there's somewhere out there that thinks some of them.
I'm sure
you know what I'm saying?
Person have watched it and thought that.
So I'm saying
objectively,
it is subjective.
That is not true. The objective audience does not think that is the case.
I don't think objective is the right word though.
Or sorry,
majority.
The majority of the majority audience
subjectively thinks that the choices
are not
an
good.
Improvement.
That's a good way to put it. Are not an improvement on the original story.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't deny it. I have to give you that. I mean, if that's what they think, then that's what they think.
Have people who either just have watched the show, who like it. There's people just looking at our comments who have not played the game or just watching the show that think that Ellie is acting like two different people at times, and that's not good.
Yeah.
And then you have people who played the game, and you're like, why did you change it?
Yeah.
Like all of the changes in and Last of Us season 1 are great changes. They
Yeah.
add to the story. They take nothing away from anybody. They've made consistent changes in this season that don't really add to the story. They might not take away from the story, but they take away from characters. And that's problematic if you're not going to come around to the back end and re-elevate them.
Yeah.
So I don't like it's just that line of thinking, like, you can take, but you have to give back. You have to strike even. Like, you have to. And if you're not going to strike even, why'd you do it? If you don't want to be critiqued on the previous material, then do a different show. Don't do the same thing. Like, if you made something and it was better than than the remake, why'd you make it in the first place? I think that's a genuine question. Like, if you're not going to make it as good as the predecessor, then you need to admit, okay, we were just making it for TV.
Yeah.
Cool. But like, I would like to think that they felt called to make this to improve upon it. And they just haven't proved to me that that's the case. It was so evident to me every time they changed something in season 1. I was like, that's a great decision. That's a great improvement. That was a good call. Immediately. Now it's like, oh, I have to wait 7 episodes to see if that was even worth it.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a good idea. But you obviously, like, I'm talking to a wall because you don't know what I'm talking about. So, but like, just in general, why change it if you're not going to change the one thing people didn't like? Awesome. Stick to your guns.
Yeah.
But you're changing all this other stuff that people did like. I mean, like, the Dina change up front. I was like, I like this Dina change. This is a great idea. Yeah. Now you're pulling from Ellie's character to give to Dina. That doesn't make sense to me. Unless it's some weird attempt at, like, spoofing all the gender roles. Like, Ellie's the dad, but the mom takes care of the dad in our show, and it's 2 lesbians.
I don't think that's
I can't keep track of all of it.
Honestly, dude, I don't know why you're watching this show anymore since you hate it. I think you hate... I'm going
to blow up the air mattress because your tires just got slashed.
That's funny. Yeah, we always say we're not going to talk about the show very long, and then we talk about it for like 45 minutes.
Literally, we just talked about the 15 minutes I didn't like because I liked the rest of it.
That's true.
But
the whole end is great. Incredible.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah. That's right. We'll see where it goes. We'll see if some of this pans out.
I like Pedro better than I like Joel in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually a really cool point.
But, like...
We'll get some more next week.
Why are they changing it?
More to come in a flashback episode next week on The Last of Us.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to watch the recap, like the behind the scenes. That way I can be ready for what you're going to say is good about the show.
Shut the frick up.
All right.
I just take whatever Greg and Mason says as just pure gold and use that as ammunition. So I'm being facetious. But it does... They've said a couple times, they've said a couple things throughout the season, a couple times where I've been like, oh, that's interesting. You're intentionally doing this. And I've either gone like, I like that, or okay, I don't really get the context, but sure. So sometimes it is interesting. Because Neil Druckmann talks about it too, and he did the game, so it does make it interesting. But that's The Last of Us. I want to be done with this freaking conversation. We're not going to talk about this on the podcast anymore. Because if I like it, you just rail me for it.
I'm not railing you for it.
I know. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Like, something that's like, I'm not someone who wants to hate things, and I really do want things to be as good as they can be. I think the storytelling in the second game is so peak, dude. Mm-hmm. I don't think they completely land the plane, but characters make sense and motivations make sense. Like, they don't land the plane in the sense of, like, do I really care about Abby as much as they want me to?
Yeah.
Like, would I say Abby's an anti-hero at the end of it? Mm-hmm. No. But the story's still told great.
Yeah.
And if you're going to change it, it needs to be for the better.
Yeah.